Good afternoon and welcome back to Norton Disney on another Ewing Competitions social. Last one of the year this is, and it's on the hardest lake on Norton Disney, on the Pettitts or Pettitts, however it's pronounced. We're not really sure. In the WhatsApp group it's called Pair of Tits. It's definitely not Pair of Tits. I think it's Pettitts, or yeah, Pettitts I think. Anyway, that's where we are, 13 of us on. Some of us, well, most of us here are people who have been on socials before. Obviously Adam and James are here because they run it all. Dave's here because Dave always comes to all the Ewing competitions events and everything. He's sort of helps along. Certainly got Adam and his friend Josh. I've not met Josh before over there. Tyler is somewhere, I think he's up the end here. Steve and Rob, who definitely done Turner's and Billy's Lake, they're up to my right. Obviously I'm here in Peg 3 or Swim 3. Another Adam in Swim 4, he's definitely been before. I don't know the guy in Swim 5. Sorry if you're watching this. I'll get your name as the vlog goes on, or the weekend goes on. But yeah, so we've got here this morning, did a watercraft draw this time, which is, I think, better all round. But I would say that because I've got a decent swim this time. But it's the first time I feel confident I'm going to catch. I blanked on Turner's Lake and I blanked on Billy's Lake. And also Balkins, not part of this, but one of the Korda lakes. And every time I fished, I've been on the back of a wind watching fish on the other side. So, as I say, we did the draw, and initially I'd come out ball number 8, which wasn't so good. But Adam wanted to fish with his friend, and his friend drew 7. So Adam took my 8 and gave me ball number 4. So I've chosen to come in here. Steve came out first and he went in number 2. I think, and the Adam to my left was next. Picked that swim. The guy in number 5 picked that swim, and I picked this one as 4th choice it was. So yeah, happy with this. As I say, when we got here there was a westerly wind blowing more into that corner. It's now turned to a southwesterly, and it should stay a southwesterly, which basically blows straight into me. We had the most helpful bailiff we've ever had when we've arrived today. I didn't take his name, I don't know his name, but if I did, Danny, if you're watching, because like Danny watches my vlogs, he needs a pay rise, good bailiff. But anyway, yeah, so every swim, he told everyone the point to cast to, what's been going on, where the weed's been taken out, when the last fish were caught from. So very helpful information. 2 of my rods are on spots that he suggested. The last rod isn't. I've got 1 rod close in, it's only 4 wraps out. I've got 11 foot of water there. Come back another rod length, you've got weed. And just with the southwesterly wind, I'm hoping the fish will follow this wind and come in that bit. You know, I would fish even closer in, just to my left. I've got reeds and everything, but that is chocker with weed. You can't fish into there, because I'm just hoping the fish get on this wind and pick up that little spot that I've got. As I say, 4 wraps out. I'm just fishing boilie over it. Don't know how often the fish get to swim along and just find boilie. So that's going to be what happens with that rod. I always say for the whole weekend, and then I see something move elsewhere and I come off the spot. But that's the plan. Fish that one on there. Right hand rod is at 21 wraps towards some dead trees over there. I can't spin the GoPro around now and show you because the sun's right in my eyes and it just won't show it, but I will take some pictures maybe and slip them in the morning of where I'm casting. So 21 wraps straight to me. Again, that is just beyond a weed bed, again in a clear spot. Again, it's 9 foot deep, and then I've got a solid bag short of that weed bed at 17 wraps. And yeah, that's the plan today. Spotted out only on 1 rod, the 17 wraps rod. I'm going to keep putting baits on. The right hand rod is just a spinner rig beyond the weed bed. That's going to stay on its own on a single, and this left hand rod will keep with a scatter and a boilies, but nothing tight. So that's the plan for today. Don't think there's a lot more to say, but hopefully I can turn the cameras on later on today and someone's got a fish. Good chance of some good fish. Bailiff says there's 175 fish in here. At the right time of year, 130s and 940s. So we've got a chance of some good fish if we get a fish. So hopefully, yeah, catching up later on with some fish on the bank, or if not, in the morning, or maybe as we go into the evening. See you then. Welcome back. It's although it's sunny, it's freezing on this bank. I think the people on the other side are nice and warm now. Bit of reverse to last night. They were in the shade all yesterday evening, freezing, and we were nice and warm on this side. But yeah, there's not a lot to say. Nobody's had a fish. No one's lost a fish. No one's even had a bite. So a very quiet night for everyone. I sat up until 10 o'clock last night watching the water, and it went quite calm, but no fish showed, or nothing showed. No fish, not good English, is it? Nothing showed anyway before I'd gone to bed. Didn't hear anything crash in the night. Was up about, I think it's about 5:45, just before daylight. And between 6:30 and 7:10 there was 9 shows on the bivvies between Neil and Dave on the other side, probably 2/3 across, and not my water but towards the edge of their water. So that's encouraging to see some fish out there. And then I've just had a chat with Steve, who's down in number 1, and he said there were fish in the bay next to him, although that's not his water, that's Swim 13's water. But he said fish were rolling in that bay this morning. So yeah, that's, you know, what I've done. I've had a nice breakfast. It were, albeit toasted cheese and onion sandwiches for breakfast, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Toasted cheese and onion sandwiches and a cappuccino, and sat in a bivvy for a lot of the time, just watching the water. Plans for today, I haven't wound in. I'm going to leave the rods on their spots until we go for the barbecue, which I don't know what time that is yet. No one said. I'm assuming it'll be early afternoon, I would have thought. And then I'll update the vlog when I come back, if I've not had a fish anyway. Hopefully, or at least one of us 3 along here has a fish, or 4. And then I can get something on the camera for you to see. But if not, I'll do the usual. I'll do a little bit of the barbecue with Neil chefing again. I think I forgot to mention Neil was on the lake yesterday when I was doing Who's On that I knew. But yeah, Neil's on, he'll be chefing. So yeah, plan, I'll do the barbecue, have a good feed up, come back, get the rods out. I'll update it with a little update and let you know if I've done anything tactically different. So yeah, see ya.
Good fishermen will come. Rankers don't catch anything, especially with GoPros. Don't bring a GoPro fishing, you'll never catch anything.
Hot dog, wasn't it?
You thought it was like that. And then what I did last night.
No, which sees you
Sorry, they'll be marinated how much they're going to take your head away. They still putting those signs outside, weren't they? Having yoga there.
Okay, welcome back. So, yep, we've all come back. Well, we haven't all come back. There's still a few over there, but most of us have come back to our swims now. Belly's more than full, that's for sure. Another good job by Neil, the chef. Well done, mate. Look forward to one next year if I'm lucky enough to get out and the draw on one of these trips. But yeah, what can I say? Just before, well, not just before we went to lunch, it was about 11 o'clock or maybe 11:30. Steve, down the end in number one, he finally had a take on his solid bag at just over 8 wraps out on a little gravel bowl, and a beautiful 30-pound mirror, 30 pound on the nose, which his PB's 30 pounds and 2 ounces, so almost a PB, but not quite. Nonetheless, I think that's lifted some of our spirits, seeing that finally a fish has been out. And then probably an hour after that, Dave lost one off of that same plateau, and yeah, he had a take and unfortunately lost it. It got snagged up in weed or something, and unfortunately the hook pulled. I think I've said before, all the Korda complexes are barbless hooks, which yeah, everyone has their own opinion on that. I don't personally like using them, but that's the rule. So if you want to fish the lakes, you've got to use a barbless hook. Nonetheless, you know, Dave lost a fish, so 2 takes in an hour really on the lake, but otherwise no one else has had anything. Speaking to a guy up in a car park just earlier up by the shop, and he's on Billy's Lake, he's not had anything. He said he's had a walk around and nobody had anything on there, and then he's looking, he might move on to Turner's Lake. He said one person had had a fish out of Turner's Lake, so he might move on to there if he's got another night on here. Derek Ritchie, they invited him over to have something to eat for the barbecue. He's only had 1 fish over the weekend, so yeah, all the lakes are fishing tough. Can't believe a helicopter's going over just as I'm talking. But there you go. I had a tactical change on one rod. I've just gone to a chod rig on that, simply because it allows you to get a bit further on your cast and see what happens with that. I'd have to say I've never ever had a fish on a chod rig. Had lots on a chod connected to a length of boom, so but yeah, I've never had a fish on just a chod rig on your lead core leader. I've had indications on it. When that was first a new rig out, myself and my friend Darren used them, and you'd get bobbing going up, bobbing going down, and never nailed a fish, and we stopped using them. But I just think with it on there, I can get the distance. If the wind dies a little bit, I'll get the distance where I saw the fish from this morning. So that's the plan, to get 2 rods out. Well, keep 1 rod on the 21 wraps, get the other rod out on 25 wraps, so 100 yards, which I think is probably on the map. There's a little point on there which I think is a high spot. I think it's probably where the fish were showing, on that spot this morning. And as I said, as you know, Neil, though it's Neil and Dave's ball, it's right between them, but Neil's casting to his right, Dave's casting to his left. No one's in that vicinity. So yeah, I'm hoping if the wind dies for a few minutes at some point, I can clip up and get a rod out, and then I'm going to stick with my rod at 4 wraps. I know I fished last night and nothing came on it, but 4 wraps for me. Also looking along to where Steve is, he's swim is further back than me, so 4 wraps for me is probably 6 wraps for him. And I just feel like that's a spot that the fish should travel along and hopefully pick up a bait. I've put all my eggs in one basket on that, spotted out the last of my flaked maize. I've put out probably a kilo of boilie on that as well. So just hope the fish came along last night and had a free feed, just I didn't get an indication. And hopefully they come back along this evening and we can nick one off of there. But yeah, otherwise there's not a lot to report. Well, nothing to report. So I'd like to think I'm updating this for the fish later in the day, but if not, it'll be in the morning with a wrap up and it'll be a very short vlog. So see you then. Fish. There she is. What's it, 34.5 pound of lovely. Eh?
36. Yeah, 36 now.
You said 34.5. No. Double check the weight. God, she's slaving.
What a beauty. Absolute beauty.
Turn around. Good morning and welcome back. As you will have just seen a video of Steve down in swim 1, had another one last night, 34.5 pounds, so a new PB for him. And Robbie's son's just looked on the website and that's a fish called the chainsaw. So yeah, he's to use a cliche, he's over the moon with that one. Another fish, I'm going to say in the night, it's 5:30 this morning. Adam in swim 8 has had 24.6, I think it was. And then Alistair over in 13, so just to the right of Steve in number 1. He's just had a fish, I don't know what it is, but I'll get the pictures off of the WhatsApp group and put that into this vlog as well. And I'll probably just put a weight on it so you can see what it was. So yeah, pretty tough fishing for all of us. I mean, you can't see, but if you could see behind the camera, the bivvy's all packed down now, ready to go home. Pretty much just the rods out, and yeah, I'll be off in the next hour. You can stay till 10 o'clock, but yeah, I'm ready to probably be pulling out of the gates 9:30. I'll be away. So that's me. It's been a pretty tough fish for most people. You know, the odd fish has shown, but it has been hard work. So I don't know what else to say about the fish really. What I would say is how busy it was this morning. Those gates opened at 7 o'clock and yeah, there's a whole queue of cars streaming through. I went up the top and a guy walked along to say, oh, you're just packing up my swim 1, I'm going to put my bucket behind it. But 2 guys from Turner's had already put their buckets behind 1 and 2, waiting to slip into those swims. So he wasn't getting swim 1 anyway. But yeah, and then speaking to someone else, I went up and used the toilet. Probably didn't need to know that. Speaking to someone else who fishes this lake a lot. And yeah, he was telling me, I will remember them, but lots of spots for different swims on here. And yeah, the first fish that Steve had yesterday was one of the spots that chap said. So that's definitely a spot. I think Steve's fish last night was at 19 wraps, just a single hook bait, out to 19 wraps, nothing around it, and that went. I didn't even have a bleep in the night. The rod, really fancied to go was the close in rod, but yeah, it's not happened. Like I say, it's probably got an hour still to be out there, but if anything happens, I always say I'll add it into the flog at the end, but I'm not expecting it to now at this point in time. What else can I say? Oh yeah, I was going to say about watching the vlogs and getting more likes. I put it in my last vlog, which was a river vlog, so if you're a carp fisherman, you probably never watched it. But definitely the algorithms of YouTube seem to publish your videos more if you get more likes and comments. And to put that into context, I had 10 days ago, the River Trent has had 5,800 views in 10 days, which is good for me. And I did a little short video, 26 seconds, and that's done 165,000 views, I think that's done. And again, Adam did a little short yesterday. It's a really funny clip. If I can put a link to it, I'll put it up there. It'll be a link to it. Basically, it's a little spodding clip, and that was already on 105,000 views last night when he looked at it. So yeah, if you've watched a video and you like it, if you can put a like, would be much appreciated. It's only a little button down there, a little thumb up. Just click on it, give me a like. It helps get the videos published. So I think that's it for this one. So that's I've done 3 of the Norton Disney lakes now this year, and yeah, unfortunately I'm still a Norton Disney virgin. So probably come back again next year and give them another go. Probably do some more vlogs and hopefully get a fish on it. But till then, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you on the bank.